So in this survey, it's a 1920s building in London. There's a lovely family with 7 children. So 3 boys in one room, 3 girls in another room. And the mould is actually growing in the boys' room. But that's largely because of heat loss. It's on the north-facing side. Well, they're both north-facing, but there seems to be more vapour and greater heat loss in this room. Mould only grows where relative humidity goes above 85% for long periods of time. Here, the vapour is actually becoming trapped behind the lining paper. So relative humidity is a measure of the amount of vapour in air. If it's above 85% for long periods of time, there's a risk of mould.
Just slightly.
Vapour comes from drying clothes, from respiration, from having showers and cooking. Those are the primary sources. Here there's no trickle vent on the bath, on the bedroom. I'm looking outside from the girls' room and seeing that there is no problem with the render. So the fan itself is not unusual. It's running about 10 litres a second. However, it doesn't stay on for long, and you're seeing lots of condensation down here and mould growing. This is a southerly wall. I'm going to have a look on the outside. Oh, this is external as well, this section of wall. So this is using a damp meter in radio frequency mode. And there was dampness where there was mould to the right of the sink. I'm going to look on the outside as well. So the fan is working okay, but it could be improved. So we'll just clean that and we'll extend the timer by turning this clockwise. Really, fans should be cleaned every year because dust builds up. And they should be, when they're installed, they should be set to 30 minutes. And we've increased it by about 40%. There you go, increased it by about 50%, so it's working fine now. Ironically, if fans were set up properly in this country, there wouldn't be a damp proofing industry, or at least not the size that there is at the moment. In the corner, which is where the damp issue is. So the extractor fan is going out, which is great. So I'm looking at the kitchen extractor fan. A majority of properties in this country, at least damp properties, don't have proper kitchen extractor fans. This one actually does. There's an area where there was an old vent that's been blocked up, but that needn't be a problem. That's more than adequate. The external, the kitchen extractor fan should run at 30 litres a second, which it does.
Laundry areas here.
Utility room is often a source of vapour. There's a condenser dryer. Condenser dryers release a lot of vapour. The downstairs front bay is typically full of damp, but it wasn't here. There is an issue in the kitchen on the left or the right side of the hob. There are brown stains. Now it's difficult to tell whether those brown stains are from water coming in from the outside or from rusting of the plaster is beading. There was a pipe that had come off, but actually it was largely redundant. Oh, that's cracked. So what we're seeing is cracks in behind this part of the pipework is cracked, but the render behind is not. It looks cracked. Looks like you can get water coming through there. Probably the ivy isn't helping.
I mean, I think you'd be better off removing this from the wall. This pipe, wartime pipe, is going to carry on cracking even if you put in some temporary solution. But you really want to get back to the render and render it, repair the render, shall I say.
The floor is buckled, but I think that's a combination of washing it and pour glue. Now, the thing to look at is the dew point. You have to keep that dew point below the outside temperature. The reason why that's important is that when you're blowing air out, you're placing it with air from the outside. The air from the outside will never have a dew point, that's temperature there where condensation takes place, never have a dew point above the outside temperature. So a well ventilated property will always have a dew point below the outside temperature, and if you do that, you won't have a risk of mould and condensation.